All right, we are recording. And so like I mentioned to you the other day through DMs, like I don't even know if this is going to go out to anyone. This is just for me, like for future reference. So I don't even know if anyone's going to listen to this. So I'm not even going to make an intro.
No problem.
What up, Antwon? So first of all, man, I know that you have a lot of history, just like you've been doing design, but you also have a massive music background that I kind of want to talk about. Can you kind of just speed me up? Like, how did you get to Wunderman Thompson? Did you start on LinkedIn and apply to jobs? Like, how did you even get to Wunderman Thompson?
That is a great question. Actually, with Wunderman Thompson, I was actually just starting my portfolio with the UX UI. I've been doing graphic design forever. And
Oh, shit, okay.
I've kind of like delved more into UI UX and looking more into what was needed for that portfolio through YouTube videos. And I kind of got an idea for it. I kind of just put something out on LinkedIn. I was like, okay, let me see how it goes. I was mostly doing email development and
Okay.
just that side of things. And then, yeah, I got hit up by Nate, I believe. It was
Okay.
Nate. Not Nate, somebody else. They told me about the position. I applied. Everything went well, and I was just like, "This is too good to be true." I knew the kind of clients I was going to work with. I'm like, "All right," and everything was cool and stuff. So I first paycheck. I'm like, "Okay, this is real." But yeah,
Yeah,
that's how
yeah.
I got in.
I feel that. And how long ago was that? Like a year and a half ago?
Yeah, that was a good year and a half. But that was beginning of 2022. Yeah.
Okay. And so did you go to school for like design and do you have like a massive school background for design, or how did you kind of learn this?
For design, not really. Mostly I went to school for music, and through
Okay.
that, when I was there, I met so many people in design and photography. That's really what got me started into the whole field. So I had a photographer friend. I was helping him out, and he needed somebody to do Photoshop, and I knew nothing about Photoshop back then. So I'm like, okay, I can kind of add it to my skill set. I already know how to do music and kind of help my little artist that I'm working with too. And yeah, I just started learning Photoshop, getting more into like learning how to retouch photos, and everything kind of just progressed from there. I was taking pictures for social media back then. It was MySpace, so it was a long, pretty cool start. But yeah, that's pretty much how I got started. And YouTube videos just kind of taught me a lot from that point on. Just
Okay.
kind of
And
honed my skills. Yeah.
when you were doing all the music stuff, were you also doing the artwork for like your clients or the people you're working with, or were you only doing music?
I was actually doing both, so I was kind of like doing a lot. Photography. I started doing my own photography stuff once I learned a lot
Okay.
on my own, and yeah, I started doing my own design stuff for my clients and also the music, kind of like a package, but I was just didn't know it was a package at the time.
For sure. So what's your lane right now? Like you're still doing music, right? Like I haven't been on Instagram in a minute, so I haven't been seeing. I used to see all your posts and everything. I haven't
Yeah.
seen a lot recently just because I haven't been on. Like, are you still focusing a lot on the music stuff, or is it just the UX UI stuff?
Right now, it's definitely more the UI UX stuff. I keep the
Okay.
music kind of like my hobby right now. I kind of do it on my free time, but I definitely focus more on the UI UX
Okay.
side.
Did you want like when you were younger to take your music career to like, be like the next Dr. Dre kind of thing? Or because that was me, like that's what I wanted, right? Like
No,
what
that's a
did you
good
want?
question.
I
Oh,
don't
I
know. What was
definitely
your
felt like that for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I was big into Kanye, especially back then, Pharrell, and all the music heads like Mike Shinoda. I used to love music producers and just listen to the beats. I'm like, all right, I know the song, but then the beat was a whole different part of the song. So I definitely thought I was gonna be like the next Dr. Dre. I
Okay.
kind of got focused on that.
So you started in hip hop and you primarily only do hip hop, R&B, that kind of realm, right?
Exactly. I do pop as well, but yeah, mostly hip hop, R&B.
Have you ever transitioned into like have you ever dabbled with other genres, let's say even like rock, country, EDM, like anything like that? Or is it only strictly been the entire however many years you've been producing, it's only been hip hop?
No,
Okay.
not at all. Not
Okay.
at all. That's a good question too, because I definitely dabbled in a little bit of everything. Especially in school, it kind of opened my eyes to how to mic a drum set and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
like all the fun stuff. So I kind of got into introduced to a lot of different genres I wasn't used to, and I prefer hip hop and R&B and pop, but I can definitely dabble in everything. I like learning like different processes with genres too.
Okay. Are you miking up drum sets in that? Like, are you using live
Ooh.
drums for any of your stuff now, or was that like a thing in the past in school?
That was a thing of the past. I wish
Okay.
everything's like the electronical with me over here.
Okay, okay, for sure. I feel that. Do you feel like when you were in music school, you learned everything you needed to know about the music business, or was it only the recording, only the production? Like, did you learn any of the business side of music? Did you learn that?
That's a good question too. I definitely did not. It was mostly just the actual making of the music, how the process went, how to collaborate with people in the session, but nothing as far as a business. I was
Yeah,
blind to a
yeah.
lot of it.
Okay, so how long were you in music school for? Did you do like a 2 year or 4 year program, or and which school did you
Um,
do?
yeah, it's actually no longer in service. It was called the International Academy of Design and
Okay,
Technology. It was in Florida, but I was there for 4 years, strictly just audio engineering, music production. It was kind of like just an art school, so it had also people that
okay,
did fashion design, photography, everything. But pretty much just there for 4 years and nothing really as far as business side.
okay. And you got a bachelor's there, or did you get a degree there? What was that like?
Yeah, I got my bachelor's there, so
Okay.
bachelor's of fine arts.
So do you think that that helped you leverage a job at Wunderman Thompson? Like, do you use that on your resume, the fact that you have a degree, or does that not even show up on your resume? Like, what does that look like?
I was always skeptical. I'm like, it's not in the field, but I definitely always put it there. You never know. I'm
Okay.
like, it's a bachelor's too. It's kind of like a stepping stone, but I can always keep it there just in case. And kind of explain my process when I'm in interviews of why I got
Okay.
that degree and stuff.
Okay, okay, for sure, for sure. So what
Mhm.
is like what does 2023, like the rest of 2023 look like for you? Like, are you trying to position yourself as like an authority figure in UI UX amongst corporate companies? Are you trying to just lay low for a little bit? Like, what are you kind of doing for the next few months that's like, what does your next few months look like
My
as
next
far as yeah.
Yeah, so for right now, I'm actually rebuilding my portfolio. I'm kind of like
Okay.
just revamping. Everything's been AI. I've been like a super head on the whole AI trend since late last year,
Yeah,
and now I'm
yeah.
getting to go into all these different fields, including music. But I'm kind of just refocusing my portfolio, introducing a little bit of AI so that I can use it. So a lot of people are using it on their resumes now. I'm like, okay, I can kind of be a little bit ahead of the curve and at least put it on my portfolio too. But I'm focusing on that a little bit on my music too. I kind of have like ideas. I always write down ideas or jot
Hell
stuff
yeah.
down. But yeah, there's those two right now. Just focusing on that and trying to look for another job as far as just doing another UI UX job. I feel like I have a little bit more free time. That's when I got this job. I'm like, okay, I can kind of make my own schedule. I can see what free time I have, how much free time I don't have. I'm like, I can kind of fit another job in right now. So I'm redoing my portfolio, just doing that right now.
I feel that. So, a couple questions. Number one, what are you
Yeah.
using for your portfolio? Number two, like, what are you trying to attract as far as like your next job or client? And number three, like, how many hours would you say you kind of work a week? Is it like an average, would you say, or is this very different every week?
Oh, so as far as the hours, sorry, I forgot the first two really quick. As far as the hours, definitely it varies. I have work weeks that are super busy. I'm just like swamped. I'm like, I did not expect this. And some weeks are just chill. I'm like, okay, it's a couple tasks every couple hours, not too bad.
Okay, okay, for sure. And then the first question was, what are you using to build your portfolio?
Oh yes. Right now I'm using Wix. I
Okay,
don't know how to do how to code, but everything's so much easier when you have these programs to do it for you. I can definitely code it myself, but I'm like, I can save like hours just pretty much having the Wix template set it up, put it in my own little information in, be a
what
done job.
what's your do you have like Antwon Terrell.com, or what's your
Right now it's antwonward.com. That's just what I'm working on as far as my portfolio UI UX. And that's differentiating because I'm kind of in the between as far as my music. I don't know if I want to keep Antoine Terrell or just come up with a whole new chain, like nickname moniker. I'll
what
see how
is
that goes.
that? Like, what is like what's the difference
It's
between the names?
well, Antoine Terrell, it's all my name. So Antoine Terrell is my artist, and then Antoine Ward is my real name.
Oh,
So
okay,
yeah.
okay, gotcha, gotcha. What's Terrell from? Is that from like
um
your name or something?
It's
Or
just my middle name. Yeah, I just kind of
okay,
kept it, but I'm like, it's a little too personal. I'm like, I don't know if I want to change it. I'm kind of in the between stages of that right now.
I feel that. I feel that. So you started in hip hop. How old were you when you started producing?
Ooh, geez. I remember first like being introduced with my brother, and I was like 12. I hadn't started. I was just like seeing him do it, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like,
Okay.
literally had the tape machines, and I was like, okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
myself, maybe a few years later, like 16,
Okay.
17. Definitely remember I was in high school and kind of just started with FL Studio. And ever since my friend introduced me to that, I was like stuck. I was always in the house making beats. I'm like, just
Hell yeah.
interesting stuff.
Hell yeah. Do you feel like so a couple questions there. So
Yeah.
from when you first started, like 16, 17 years old, and then you got like your first placement, like how long was that in between? And I'm not talking about like a local artist placement. I'm talking about like a serious placement. Like I know you had worked with Sammy, right?
Correct.
Like
Yeah, that took a while.
yeah, yeah. How long
Um, that really happened just spur of the moment. I wasn't even expecting to work. It was pretty much I was 2021. So it's definitely 4 or 5 years after I started. And this person, it was kind of like a middleman. She was a middleman between pretty much me and the client. It was Sammy. I had no idea it was going to be Sammy. She was like, just send me some beats. And I'm like, everybody says that. So I'm like, I'll send her some beats. She comes back to me like a week later, like, oh my God, Sammy's going to work with you. She sent me contracts. And I'm like, what? It happened so fast. I remember, yeah, the manager reached out back to me, called me like a couple beats. I just had to edit a few things, and it was kind of easy. It was just a mixtape too. That's why I was just like, okay, it wasn't too serious. But for me, like I was like, showing all my friends, and it was pretty cool.
So was she like an A&R basically that reached out to you, or
exactly at that point I realized she wasn't an A&R. Yeah.
Okay, got you. And so, like going forward, do you feel like now you're doing a lot more? Do you feel like this UX UI stuff, kind of hits the same itch as the music stuff hit, or is it like, do you feel like you're still flexing your creative muscles with the UI UX stuff, or do you feel like the music stuff is a different game entirely? Like, how do you feel about your creativity in general?
That's a good question too. Geez. I feel like my creatives, I have different ways of putting it. So with my music, I see it a certain kind of way, and I'm in a different zone. I can literally be there for hours just working on one song. Versus UI UX, I kind of have my set things. I treat it like work, to be honest. My UI UX stuff, it's more focused. I have goals I want to do. It's like boom, boom, boom. Versus music, I can just literally just rock out to the same track all night and still find new things. But yeah, I gotta keep it a little bit different. And I guess I would choose music if I had to choose one thing for the rest of my life, but I do know on UI UX it brings in some good money, and I'm learning a lot, and it's the design kind of itch that I get sometimes too, and I'm like, okay, I can do this too.
Have you ever been like, I don't know what like your previous employment looks like. Have you ever been just like full on, like, I'm gonna just do this music shit, like, not like I'm gonna live out in my car, like I'm gonna do all that? Have you ever been like, have you ever been that deep into it?
Yes, I definitely. So right after high school, I met a kind of a group of collectives, and we were under this manager. It was a whole thing. So I was like, I kind of had a part-time job at Walmart, then I quit. Then I went back to Walmart, quit, and then I was like, okay, let me just do this full time. I was there for like 5 years, and that's when I kind of started doing the photography for all the artists and the music and videos. So it was kind of like a whole trifecta. And it was kind of like me helping everybody, and everybody was just kind of collaborating together, writing songs. So it was kind of cool. That was pretty fun.
Were you charging for that at all, or was that all free?
That was pretty much all free. That's why it's kind of like, but looking back, I'm like, I would have did things differently, but it was definitely a learning experience. I met some really cool people that I still talk to this day. Some people still work on music, so I would like to see that, and some people don't. They just have kids and lives, totally different thing. But it's just cool looking back on the memories that what I made from that, and how much I learned about myself during that period too, about what I can do, how much I want to do, and pretty much take as far as like work and cost and money and that kind of sort of thing.
Okay. What do you think like is the biggest thing you learned from that? Like from being in those collectives kind of to here now? Like, I guess specifically in music, what do you think there's any big takeaways you got in that time period?
Yeah, in that time period, definitely. I just, like, as far as learning about myself, I learned that I was a little bit too much of a yes man. I would do everything just to kind of put my name out there. And it was more in Tampa. So in Tampa, Florida, I was really like going hard from like 2010 to 2020. It was like really like I was doing it, but kind of things kind of fizzled out because I was doing too many things at once, like the photography, the music, and the videos. Like I was kind of straining, so that kind of like burnt me out. That's kind of getting back to where I learned about myself. I need to focus on one thing. You can kind of be a good at everything, but you have to be a master at something just to really hone in your skills. Because when I was doing that, I noticed that a lot of my friends are picking up those same skills, like photography and making beats. Like now the rappers started making their own beats, and I'm like, oh man, it was cool at the time, but I'm just like, oh man, like. It was just a lot was changing from 2010 to 2020. But
that's facts.
Yeah, I learned a lot about that too.
Man, specializing, I feel like, is such an underrated thing. Are you familiar with Marty Newmeyer, the branding guy? Are you familiar with him? Or are you into branding? Are you into like that whole branding space at all, or have you dabbled?
A little bit. It comes up when I start looking at YouTube videos, but not too much.
Okay, who are some of the careers you look at?
Let me see. I have a long list. It's mostly just like people that show to like social content awareness, or I watch a lot of UI UX videos or sneaker videos, and music heads too. So that's a long list of stuff. But what about who did you mention? The name does sound familiar.
Marty Newmeyer. He wrote the Brand Gap. He's like an older head. He's like,
oh, okay.
I'm not sure exactly how old he is, but
oh no, I never saw this.
Okay. His whole thesis is basically like specialization is the key. So like I've been really digging into his stuff recently, and so that kind of reminded me of that. But tell me about if you haven't pulled up, tell me about like 1 or 2, 3 careers you've been looking at recently?
Okay, yeah. Let me see. I'm pulling them up now. A long subscription list.
I feel you.
Well, right now, this guy Matt Wolf, he's all about AI. I've been watching him
Oh,
kind of
okay.
from the start. Yeah, he's like killing it with AI news. I'm like, okay, he's really been on it. So him, I'll peek into his stuff from time to time. Let me see who else is on here. Satori Graphics, he's really good too as far as the UI UX stuff.
Okay.
Been watching him for some time. What's this here? I have so much sneaker video. I've been watching too much sneaker stuff.
Who are some of your like sneaker like? Do you use that for inspiration for like design, or do you use it for you just love sneakers, or
I
what?
just love sneakers. It's like a more of a personal thing.
Okay, for sure.
Just seeing like what's coming out, like the Jordans or
For
Yeezys
sure,
that's
for
coming
sure.
out. As far as other people, there's so many. Oh, Mizko, he's really good too with UI
How do you
UX.
spell that?
Mizko. I feel
MIZK.
like his information is very like accurate. And then you have people that spam. That's another reason I like to filter out. They're like, look how much money you can make in 3 days or something. You
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
be careful of stuff like that. Especially TED Talks. TED Talks are also always good. I like watching those from time to time. There's one more person I really watch a lot. Um, where's this dude? Oh, there he goes. Ed Talenti. He's good with the music
Oh,
production.
yo,
I'm like, there's somebody in music that's
yo.
really like killing it. Use YouTube. Like he inspired me to make my own. I'm like, I want to do this. Like, it's so like looks interesting. It's explaining his process. He's good at just he has a lot of stuff and knowledge he shares. It's pretty cool.
I didn't know. I didn't know he was that big because I'm in like a Facebook group with him. I've known him
Oh
for like
no way.
years. Yeah, so I didn't know
That's
he was like.
crazy.
Have you heard of like MIDI Money or Legion Beats or Random
I heard of
Dominant?
Midi Money.
Yeah, I was a copywriter for them. Like I was like one of their.
Oh yes, I remember you telling me that. No, yes, yes, yes. I
Yeah, yeah.
remember.
Okay, so that's how you know is, or that's how I know Ed Talenti because he's in that group. Okay, so that's hilarious.
Gotcha.
I didn't know he was that big.
Yeah, he's
Um,
big, man.
Wait,
That's
so
funny.
when you sorry to cut you off. I just
No,
really
you're
want to know like when you're positioning yourself in the market, like what does that actually look like? So when you got on a call with like Wunderman Thompson, or when you ever get a call for a new job or whatever, like what are you positioning yourself as? Like, are you saying like, hey, I'll get you these results in this amount of time? Are you saying like I've worked with this client before? Like, how do you kind of go about positioning yourself?
Oh, that's a good question. I definitely just go off the track of my resume and telling them my skills and telling them that I have learned what I have learned in between that time and my portfolio. Just really explaining my portfolio, why I chose specific things and items on there. I'm not going really into there like what I can do for you, but it's more just like what I have done and showing that I do have potential of pretty much producing some content, whatever
Okay.
that content is.
Okay. And so like using that information, like what clients are you trying to or what jobs are you kind of trying to aim for next? Like you did mention that you were looking for another job. Like what is something that you might want to do?
I've been looking more into product design. It's weird because the whole UI UX designer is like kind of under the umbrella of product designer, and it's weird because that's a little bit different than what I'm doing with Wunderman Thompson too. But it's more of like explaining why certain apps or websites are designed a certain way, and you're really seeing what the customer has to say and why certain things are this way, and just fixing what they have problems with firsthand. A little bit different than what I'm doing with Wunderman Thompson, but that's really what I want to get more into is this learning how to please the client as far as what they're looking for and what do they need and what does the product show. Like I've been looking into my portfolio. Right now, I'm just making an app like a health wellness blog website. It's like a makeup company. I'm kind of just giving it its own objectives and showing like, hey, I have been doing my research for other blogs that do health and wellness. They have also recipe tabs. Oh, they also have meditation games. I'm just looking, okay, there's little things that kind of help tailor this particular I'm making up what works for them and just showing how design can help enhance an experience that way. So I
Yo,
like that side of it.
that's awesome. Wait, so are you trying to niche down in health and wellness, or is that just an example kind of thing?
That's just an example. Like I definitely want to dabble in anything. I don't want to limit myself as far as right now with genres. As far as like categories, I should say. But definitely that's just an example. I also have like just ideas I've been using. Like the health and wellness. I have like a pizza restaurant. There's different stuff
Okay.
to show variety in my portfolio, but I don't have a preference right now.
Okay. Kind of a different kind of question, but like this is something that I've noticed in like my career change or like
Mhm.
my just over my career is like I've noticed where the people kind of change as you kind of level up in like whatever industry you're in. So for example, like when I was in music, I was
Mhm.
always dealing with like broke rappers who couldn't pay for beats, who couldn't, you know, broke artists kind of thing. I mean,
Yeah,
you have more expertise there because you have replacement with Sammy and everything like that. But do you feel like your like the people you work with are a little bit a different kind of person now that you're working for Wunderman Thompson versus like the music industry, or do you find yourself working with great people wherever you go? Like how has that changed for you?
oh, it's crazy. I definitely feel the difference. Like you said, I worked with a lot of starving artists. That's especially coming up. It was kind of like I was a starving artist too. Like we were
Yeah,
all just
yeah.
helping each other, and especially back then, I felt like everybody just wanted to hop on something and collab. But the clientele has definitely changed, especially since I started working for bigger companies, including Wunderman Thompson. And it's been great. Like I feel like a little bit mature, I guess, in this stage of my career. It's weird saying that because I'm like I'm still young, but no, it's been like a growth experience as far as just transitioning. I kind of seen myself do this when I was younger. I kind of like I want to go into advertisement because I like doing Photoshop, but never knowing this career was even here until like 2 or 3 years ago. So it's kind of like, oh wow, I could have been doing this years ago, but couldn't really find the career name for it. But I love what I do now. It's a little bit different. I feel like music has been a part of me. It always will be a part of me, but I feel like as far as business side, I feel like that it's kind of fading away. It's there in the back. I'm like, I can still do it, but I'm like, I like doing my design a little bit better for work.
I feel you. I'm sure the design pays a lot better too, right?
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing. Then, like, so what? How did your mindset? I don't know if you've had like good money in the past, but me personally, like when I started at Wunderman Thompson, that was like my first higher paying job, and then it just kept going up and up from there. Was that the
Nice.
same experience for you, or did you have really? Did you have like a lot of money years ago, and then you kind of lost some of it? Like, what was your experience with money in that way?
No, definitely. It was. I started from the bottom until Wonderman Thompson. It's
Same
just
here.
the same thing you say. Yeah, like right before, I was definitely doing kind of paycheck to paycheck and just doing what I needed to do to get by. And then that's why I started looking in more into this job online and UX UI. I'm like, okay, I can kind of das. Looks easy. Did a portfolio. I'm like, okay, it wasn't that easy, but that's why I kind of put it out when it wasn't finished, and everything kind of just spiraled from there. And it's funny because when I had my interview for Wonderman Thompson, I also had an interview for Capital One literally at the same time. And it
Oh,
was between the two. And I was just like telling my friends, and I was like, oh, this is like the hardest decision. Because for me, it just seemed unreal. Like both of them seemed like they were just pulling my leg or something. So I kind of went with Wonderman Thompson, and everything has been great since then.
can I ask you why you
Yeah.
didn't just do both?
Now I wish I did, to be honest. I didn't know what the workload would be like. It was all new to me. And I'm just like, I don't want to like force myself into this and then can't do it. But yeah, I wish I would have kept both looking back for sure.
You got the offer the same day for both of them?
I got the offer for Hulu first, but no, actually, I got the offer for Capital One first, and I was waiting for Hulu. That's so funny looking back. I remember I was on the rental raft, and my friends were like, "Oh," but dang, man, that's funny. I wish I'd have kept both, but yeah, I kind of was waiting for Wonderman Thompson. I'm like, okay, so
Okay,
what's going on?
for sure, for sure. And when you tell your friends, do you say like, "Oh, I work at Wunderman Thompson," or do you just say Hulu, or what do you say?
I started with Wonderman Thompson. Now I just say Hulu because that's
Yeah, yeah,
too
me
much
too.
to explain.
No one knows what Wunderman Thompson is unless
Yeah,
you're
exactly. Yeah.
advertising. But anyway, so going forward for you, man, like another thing I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you've considered this a million times, but like, have you ever thought of instead of just getting another job, like starting your own agency or creating an offer or something like that, like, like contracting out other design work if you get that in your agency? Like, have you thought about anything like that, or you're just like, nah, it's too much time? And kind
That's good questions. You're asking good questions. I have not thought about that at all. Like, I
okay,
kind of just keep to my work right now. I mean, I'm sure in the future. It's funny because I used to do like these dance mixes for my friend in Florida. Like
Okay.
I was really good. Like he's a choreographer, big time choreographer now. He kind of like I kind of like saw him grow. It's kind of creepy. So now he's working on like cruise lines and stuff. But he used to always ask me for mixes. He still used to, but then this last week, and I'm like, I really can't handle the workload, and I'm like, I had to tell him like, hey, I kind of have to stop right now. But it was because I would take a lot of time. Like I would spend nights, and then it'd be like the next day, and I'm still working on it. And I'm trying to perfect it, and I'll send it to him. He has changes, and I'm like,
yes.
So it's kind of like, all right, I had to just pause on it. It was fun, but I feel like that part of me is definitely ended now. I'm just sad to see.
Bro, I cannot tell you how much I can relate to what you're saying. I used to do dance mixes too, like
Oh no way.
shit. Also in Tampa, bro. Like
yeah, that's
I
funny.
feel you like crazy on that. So that's just crazy how small.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
As far as like putting together your own, or I guess as far as like doing those things for other people, like do you have any? Because you mentioned earlier, like you were like a lot of a yes man. Like, do you have any tips for like your younger self to like not be that yes man, and maybe you're talking to that person a few years later or at that previous version of yourself, like what would you say to that person?
That's deep.
I'm just asking because
that's real. That's real right there. I would just tell that person to just listen to what they really feel and just make sure that they're making sure that they're taken care of first and their needs are taken care of. Yes, it's a creative process. And so also remember that it's very subjective. Art in general is very subjective. I might love it, and that doesn't mean that the person next to me is going to love it. You just got to take that into consideration. So if you have something that you want for yourself, if you're making it for yourself, make sure you're not a yes man. Make sure you're just doing it for yourself. But if you're working with clients, you kind of have to be a yes man. You got to make sure the client's happy.
That's true. Do you feel like you're also a yes man in like your personal life, or was it just professionally?
No, not my personal life. I kind of do whatever I want now. I'm just like, but it definitely, it was more. And whenever I'm like in that setting of music, I'm kind of like, okay, oh, you want to add this sound? Okay, cool. I'm like, it can fit. I can make it work, but it's like, should it be there?
Yeah. Do you find yourself agreeing with the client more, like now that you're working with Wunderman Thompson, or do you feel like you still have the same disagreements that you'd have with the rapper next to you, like in a studio?
Ooh. I'm definitely more of a yes man with Wunderman. So I have to be like, yeah, things just have to get done. And I kind of get it. It's behind the scenes for me, and I'm kind of like, it's a certain way they're looking for it. But with music, I used to be like just whatever they wanted, but then I started putting my input, and I started noticing that thing that actually my input was valuable. That's why I started to realize, okay, I should be more voicing my opinion, not just being like, okay, let's just do this. Okay, whatever you say. I guess that's the biggest takeaway. I didn't realize that happened. As far as my growth is realizing that I did have input, I did have a voice in what was going on.
That's awesome, man. I love that. Fucking love that. What would you rate yourself as far as, and this could be like UX, because I feel like you're pretty much an expert in music at this point, but in UX, like where would you rate yourself as far as skill level goes? Would you say like you're intermediate, advanced, expert? Like what would you kind of put yourself there?
I would definitely say intermediate. It's funny because I wanted to be a developer. I was like so focused into coding. I was like, this is easy, it's fun. I was loving it. And then I realized it was the creative side, the UI side that I really loved. I love making stuff beautiful. The behind the scenes, I really couldn't care for. Like the back end development, it was cool, like learning to see how it works. But I'm like, this is not fun for me. I wouldn't be happy doing this forever.
For sure. And you would consider yourself an expert in music or not?
Yeah, I would definitely now. I would definitely consider myself an expert.
So what are you doing? Like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I said it's been too long.
For sure. I feel you. Well, actually, bro, I've been producing for like probably 15 years at this point. 12 years or some shit. I feel like I'm still ass, so I don't know. I don't know if that artist curse ever goes away, but what do you do as far as like your free time? I know you go to the gym because one time you had mentioned you were at the gym like on a meeting. I do it all the time. Like what else are you like heavy into aside from the creative shit or even other creative shit? Like we got photos, we got music, UI, UX, a little bit about coding. What else, like maybe that other people don't know about you, or just like that you would like to share with me? Like what else you really find interesting?
Definitely, like I said, the whole sneaker community. I started getting into that not too long. I didn't know the whole thing. I was just like, oh, it's a whole community. I love this. But mostly that. My free time, especially in the summer, I go on like river rafting up here in Sacramento.
Oh, hell yeah, okay.
I didn't realize how popular that was, but I love doing that. going to the mall is like just vibing, just window shopping at the mall. I love just doing that, especially when I'm stressed out. Just walk
Okay.
in, just chill. Um, just that really. I've been going more into like fashion blogs too, like just learning a little bit more about what's going on in that scene. I really wasn't into fashion, especially in high school and college. I'm like, I'm looking, I'm like, okay, I get it now. I understand.
I feel you.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said, working out, I kind of just started doing that in February, just going like constantly. I took a little break for the summer, but now I'm like getting back into it now.
What are you doing? Strength training? You doing cardio? Like, what does that look like for you?
Mostly cardio, and then I'll do some strength training, like just lifting the weights. And I have like a kind of set routine where I do my chest and arms one day, and then my legs and my back one day. Kind of keep it consistent that way.
Okay. And you mentioned like you're really into the fashion thing now. Like, I feel you on that completely. What are like some of your favorite brands? It doesn't even have to be fashion, but like, what are some of your favorite brands that you like to buy, or even just like look at? Like, it could even be like cars. It could be obviously sneakers. Like, I know you like J's. Like anything like that. What are some of like your top brands and why?
Definitely. I was gonna say H&M. I've been going to H&M since I was a kid, and it's when I see like their style. Now I never used to shop in one section of the store. Now I am shopping in that section of the store. Like just the button ups and the nice pants, slack pants. I like Zara. I like Banana Republic. You said Jordans. I've been doing a lot of Jordan shopping. Yeezys. I know they're kind of his whole thing going on with Kanye, but I still like the Yeezys. They're futuristic looking shoes, and I feel like now that him and Adidas are gone, so it's kind of like they're gonna be nostalgic in a few years.
You think they're just going to go up in money too? Because I actually don't know that world too well. So do you think?
That's what I learned about. I had no idea this whole online market was like a black market of sneakers. I'm like, this exists, but yeah, that's what I kind of got into that when I started working at Wunderman Thompson, just buying shoes and reselling them. I made a few $100. I'm like, oh, it's not too much money, but it was interesting to see how your profit can go up just by buying shoes at retail and reselling them. But yeah, I love these. Like, I feel like, yeah, they're pretty much done after this month or next month, and I'm sure they're gonna skyrocket. And like, I've seen what he's done with Nike. Those shoes are like thousands of dollars now, and those shoes haven't been released since like maybe 2012. So it's been like decades, literally. And those shoes have already gone up so much. But it's to hold those shoes. Can you hold those shoes for 5 years, 6 years?
That's hard.
Yeah,
that's hard. So you mentioned that you started getting into this fashion stuff a little bit more with as soon as you kind of got the job at Wunderman Thompson. Was that because you had more free time, or was it because you had more money, or like why did you kind of approach it?
I guess there's a little bit of It's funny, my partner says I have a lot more free time, which I do. That's why I really feel like I should be looking for another job or just using my time wisely. But definitely I've been looking more into fashion since I got the job, and spending a little bit more than I used to because of that too. But I'm just getting familiar, and I'm like, I have my closet set how I want, and it's pretty interesting just to see how far I've come from when I started the job and now. I
feel that.
It's crazy.
I feel that. What other areas do you feel like you've kind of had more room for? Like before I started at Wunderman Thompson, even like over a year ago, like for 5-6 years, I didn't even have a car. I was just like Ubering or just busing everywhere, walking, on foot type of shit. Now, like fast forward a little bit over a year later at Wunderman Thompson, I have a car. I actually have a place, not a closet. You know what I mean? So like, is there anything like that you've seen like massive leaps and changes in your own life, or was it mostly just the fashion stuff?
No, not at all. Definitely every aspect. I started looking at my finances a little bit different now. I'm like, oh, I can actually do this. I can pay off this credit card now. I can afford to save a little bit extra than I thought I couldn't before. Like I said, I was paycheck to paycheck before, and I didn't really care because I was like, oh, okay, I can pay for everything and just get the money back. But now it's like, okay, I can look after my finances. I can actually save for retirement. I actually have time to save for a house now. And it's funny because during the same time, I had student loans from my school. And the thing is, like I said, the school is no longer in existence. They were a for-profit school. It was a whole lawsuit, and I'm actually getting my money refunded now. So it's kind of like, yeah. So it kind of like this whole last 2 years since I got the job has been like, I'm like, all right, I'm taking it in, just making sure I'm just doing my finances a lot better now. So I'm kind of like, I really could just be in a better place if I set myself up correctly now.
Hell yeah, man. I love that. That's dope. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel like that's what a lot of people, including myself, like I never realized how much just a little bit more money can take you. A little or a lot, depends on I guess how much you're making, but it's just crazy how much like freedom it opens up for you. And I'm sure like now you can just go out more too. You're not really stressing about, when is this check gonna clear type of shit. Because it's just way too stressful.
Exactly, it is.
Can you kind of go through, like, if you're cool with it, can you kind of tell
Yeah,
me a little bit about your childhood? Like, where did you grow up?
yeah, no problem.
Let's say you're 8 years old. Like, where were you at 8 years old?
At 8, I was a little bit everywhere, man. So 8 years old, I was in Connecticut. That's
Okay.
where I'm actually going to visit this week. So Harvard, Connecticut.
Oh, where? Okay.
It was pretty cool. My dad raised me for the most part, and then my grandparents, his parents, kind of raised me as well. And I was there for a long time, man, until I graduated high school. So pretty much 18, I moved straight to Florida. But my childhood was pretty good. I mostly just to myself. And my mom, my parents, my dad, my mom, my parents, my dad and my mom split up when I was younger. So it's kind of weird just seeing that dynamic of just my dad all the time. And I did go live with my mom for a few years in Alabama, and that was pretty cool. I got to see the rest of my siblings. That's why I was kind of like exposed, like, okay, this is a whole new side of my family I never knew, and that was cool. That's kind of why I said my brother introduced me to music. I was down there and seeing him record. So it literally, that's funny because if that never happened, I probably wouldn't have done music at all because I wouldn't have been introduced to that aspect of it. So everything happens for a reason, I feel, as far as that. And like I said, even with school, going to school, I went to school for music, but I ended up learning that I love photography and design. It was just little things you don't expect that came along the way. And looking back, I'm like, damn, that kind of really shaped what I'm doing now completely. And yeah, I guess my childhood was pretty cool. Like I said, I was kind of the only child. I had my siblings, but I wasn't really living with them. But yeah, when I moved from high school, I went straight to Florida. I actually
Tampa?
to Tampa. Actually, oh, it's so funny because I got accepted to University of Tampa for music. I checked out the campus and hated it. I'm like, I don't want to do this. Literally quit like right before I was supposed to go, and that's when I found the other school on freaking commercial. That's why it's for profit. I was just young and dumb. I'm like, oh, I could be a music producer just like them. Went to school, everything went through financial aid. Yeah, they kind of raped me with the freaking financial aid. Yeah, that's why I'm like, all right. I'm so glad the whole lawsuit thing happened. I'm like, all right. I was stressed about that so much. I low key was because I'm like, I'm not ever gonna pay that. I'm just gonna pay the bare minimum. But I'm kind of glad they got washed. But
How long did you have that stress hanging over, like, your head like that?
to be honest, right after I graduated, I didn't even worry about it. I just kept doing it. I was actually in that period of just working with the creative, just the artist. And then as soon as I got up, maybe like 2 years later, I started working at Bank of America, and that was like my first like, all job. And I was just doing customer service.
Okay.
And then the lenders called me like, "Hey, you know that student loan you didn't pay? Well, we can garnish your wages." And I'm just like, ah.
Oh man.
So that kind of started the stress.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, that makes sense. So, like, if I could ask, I actually asked Rachel about this on another call. Like, where were you at when you were younger? Do you have like any spiritual incentive or like leanings, or did you grow up religious, or were you atheist? Like, and if you don't want to talk about this, completely fine. Like, just
Cool.
What's your background as far as like religion, spirituality? And I'm asking transparently because I have no idea I have no idea where I sit with this now. This is like something I've been for a while. Like, I just like to hear other people's stories. What was your like experience with religion, spirituality, stuff like that?
Oh, that's a really good question. You're delving deep, sir.
I don't have to like. If
no, this is totally perfect.
Okay,
I talk about this with my friends all the time.
Okay.
As far as me, I definitely grew up in a Baptist home, Christian home, but my grandparents kind of never really took me to church unless it was like Easter, like a big holiday like that. But I never really was introduced into the church world as most people were, I guess you would say. I wouldn't go every Sunday, and it kind of shaped me as far as like, yes, I believe there's a higher being. I don't have a say of like put a name or face, but I definitely feel like there's something bigger than us than on earth. I always felt like that since I was younger. I kind of just felt like, okay. It's funny, I think about it now. It's like, you ever heard of non-playable characters? Like in the video games? That's what I used to feel like. Some people are just living like, I'm like, nobody can't just be roaming the earth just with no purpose. But I feel like there's definitely everybody has like a meaning in this world, and we all connect some way. There's somebody that's angry or somebody that's happy, like it's always in between. But as far as like that, I don't really I'm not really atheist or anything like that. I'm more just neutral, I guess. Like I can see sides, especially if anything, I would look up the teachings like a Buddhism. Like, okay, I can kind of understand like what to learn. Even with the Bible, there's certain things that like, okay, it makes sense. But it's like there's some extremists, and I'm just like, okay, that's why I kind of like draw the line.
Yeah. So do you think like, or now do you have any sort of like methods to kind of get in touch with that side of yourself, or is it just like something you really don't even think about at this point?
I wish I was more in tune. One of my best friends, we were like childhood friends in high school. I haven't spoken to him for years. We kind of like reconnected like a few months ago, and he was telling me he really started doing like meditation and yoga. That kind of helped him. He said, you should really try it, Antwon. Like, I know you'll do really good. And I'm like, I try, I'll sit there, but I feel like I'm doing it, but then maybe I'm not doing it. So that's where I feel like I wish I was a little bit more in tune with spirituality and just myself. And my neighbor, she kind of introduced me to these chakra rocks and kind of explaining like what they do, the gem, the crystals. So kind of like that's the most I would do into that. But for me, I'm more just neutral. Like I wish I was a little bit more in tune with that, but I'm cool right now.
Do you have any like big revelations?
More of just being in tune with myself, like just realizing where I came from, like in Florida, like realize I said that all that time. And I don't want to say it's wasted time, just realizing that I was a yes man and just being too people pleasing. And I kind of am a little bit now, I guess, like in the like social setting, I am a little bit people pleasing because when it comes to something to eat or where to go, I'm like, oh, whatever you guys think. And I'm like, I really don't care. Like I can enjoy myself forever, especially if it's a group of people. But literally thinking about that, just making sure that I'm happy and not a yes man. That was a big revelation for myself.
So you're familiar with Figma, Photoshop? I'm assuming you probably don't use Canva because that's more like beginner stuff, right?
It is, but that's blowing up, man. That's why I'm like, I feel like I'm behind. Everybody's using Canva now, but yeah, definitely Figma, Photoshop, and After Effects.
Okay, yeah, I used to use After Effects a lot.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like I come from like a design background a while ago.
You know that.
Yeah. I'm not good at design at all. Like I used to make YouTube intros for people and shit. But I suck. Cool. I always sucked at it. So that's actually another reason I wanted to interview you, because I never actually interviewed like a dedicated designer. And to be frank, I've only interviewed a couple people, so to be fair, but I actually don't even personally know that many designers personally. So I feel like I can relate to you a lot on the music shit. So I was like, why not just dive into your story a little bit? Are you writing copy for the UI stuff? Yeah, right? No?
I get it from your whatever you upload. Okay. I'm like, I'll just copy. I'm like, unless it's like a little tweak just to make it fit the box. But I suck at copy completely. I'm like,
oh, so you're just pulling it from my tickets, bro? I thought the whole time you were writing it, I was like, damn, Antwon's pretty fucking good at copy.
No, it definitely comes from you, or like I'll just tweak it a little bit just to make it fit. But yeah, unless they just tell me they usually tell me what to put. But if not, I'll just take it from your copy. Especially you upload it pretty quick. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I usually try to have it like same day or something.
Just knock out.
You know what I mean? Like
I noticed that too. I like to just get it out the way. Before I was like waiting to the end of the month. I'm like, no, this is too much. Just get it out early.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that does happen though sometimes when I fucking do this shit early is like they'll just hit me with the last minute request. I mean, you already know, bro. You've been getting requests out the fucking ass.
It's crazy.
I'm managing all that.
It's funny because in the moment I'm like, oh, but then I get it done. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, really quick, because I know we only got like a few minutes left, but I did want to mention to you. I know you said you're looking for another job. I do have like a few recruiting agencies I'm pretty close with, like some of the headhunters there. If you want, just send me over your resume and portfolio, and I'll send it to them whenever you're looking for a job. So
sweet, appreciate it.
Bro, these guys, like one of them got me in at Amazon. So if
I remember saying that. Dang, that's dope.
Yeah. So I've been doing this in Amazon for it's been almost a year now, and it's been fucking great.
How have you been like averaging your schedule? Has it been okay?
Yeah, I mean, bro, you know that weekly status sync that we have every Monday? I have a meeting with Amazon at the same time, and I just put it on like mute. I just like mute it. It's like not hard at all.
So you're like, okay, all right, cool.
Yeah. Bro, I've been doing like one-on-ones, like 2 one-on-ones at the same time. One in Thompson and one at Amazon, bro. They don't give a fuck.
I love it. I know they really, as long as you're getting your work, you're cool. But that's hilarious.
Bro, they don't give a shit. So I'm just like, all right. So yeah, like I just wanted to bring that up just in case.
I appreciate that. I'm still working on it because I really want to refine it. Like I said, I want to add a little bit of AI stuff. So definitely like a month at the latest, I'll start having stuff done. But thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I'm always trying to I feel like relationships are where shit builds. So if I can help you out, bro, like please, use me as a tool. You know what I'm saying?
Same.
I feel like when I was younger, bro, like I undervalued relationships so much, bro. Like I was always like, yo, what can I get out of this? But I feel like this year I've been really learning, like, yo, I need to serve other people kind of shit. You feel
That's
me?
deep. Yeah, no, I definitely feel you on that. That's really good insight. Like looking back, like even at the school, like I realized, like you said, those relationships that I have now with some of the students. I'm like, damn, I still are friends with these
Yeah,
people. Like I'm checking in.
yeah,
I'm like, damn, it's kind of crazy. Like we don't
yeah,
even see each other every day, but still checking in on each other is pretty deep.
yeah, bro. And like on some real shit, dog. Like I haven't really talked to you on some real shit until right now. So I
I
thought
know,
like,
yeah.
yo, so like, and we've been working together for like over a year.
A minute,
So
I know.
I'm like, yo, if I like my thinking is like, yo, in 10 years down the road, if Antwon is the next Kanye or the next Jay-Z or whatever, or he's the next big designer, like the next Christo, like I could be like, yo, I know that guy. And like hopefully if we're still cool, hopefully we are, like I can
Yeah.
reach out to you. That's kind of my thinking. It's like I really wanted to just bring value first to you and just see what you're about because bro, I feel like you're fucking dope as hell. Like I see your music on
Same, dude.
I see your music on Instagram and shit. I mean, like I said, I haven't been on Instagram in a fat minute, but when I would see it, I'm like, oh, that's the homie Antwon. Like he's doing. I don't know why I didn't reach out to you sooner, man. I wish I
Yeah,
did.
no worry. I know, Sam. I'm so busy. Like I'm literally, I have so many things. I use Google Keep. No, you heard of Google Keeps? It's pretty
No,
much like
I'm
a no system.
not you,
Pretty
bro.
much a no system. It's like pretty much like Apple Notes or whatever. But I
Okay,
literally just put my day. I literally say, okay, washing dishes or literally
okay.
whatever. Because I'm like that structured. I'm so weird, but I have
No,
to
get
knock
into
stuff
that.
out. Yeah,
Get
I
into
just have
that.
to.
So, like, what do you? Okay, do you structure it like wake up at this time, brush your teeth at this time? Like, can you walk me through?
Oh, I'm not that structured,
Okay, okay,
but that's smart to be like. I literally just have a to-do list. Like I'll be like, okay, I have to do laundry today. I have to this whatever I have to do. Like, okay, I have to finish this song. Oh, I have this. Now, as far as like the tickets, like what we're doing for Wunderman Thompson, I just keep that strictly in just at Jira or the Outlook. But as far as my personal stuff, yeah, it's pretty much like okay, I'll knock it out. And that's the cool thing is like if I don't finish something, if I'm like, oh, I can't do this, I'll just move it to the next day. Like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow.
okay. And how
But I
many
have
things?
to be that way.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm like the same way. That's why I'm asking. Like, how many things do you structure a day or schedule for a day? Is it like 3 things, 5 things, 10 things?
Well, it's usually about 3 to 5. Yeah, I
Okay.
definitely have workout on there and
Yeah, yeah.
walk on my dog or just clean the apartment.
You got
Just
a
random
dog?
things come up. Yeah, I have a little bit. He's in there sleeping.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, he's a miniature schnauzer. But like just little things I have to take him out or get stuff ready for the weekend. Usually we have people visiting or just stuff like that. Just getting stuff ready because I hate to be like last minute looking. It still happens sometimes, but at least I know I try to be proactive about it.
For sure, for sure. How
Yeah,
about like your and I know we only got a few minutes, but I want to
yeah,
like
it's
get
cool.
into this as much as
You're
possible.
good.
What does like your social life look like? Like I know COVID kind of fucked everything over here and we work remote. So like what do
Yeah.
you do? I know are you living with your partner? Or are you
Yeah, we've been living since 2018, and yeah, it's been pretty much been us since COVID. It was literally
okay.
just us, and he made a few friends back. He went to Sac State, graduated a year ago, so we made a lot of our friends through him through his school experience, and yeah, it's been cool. Usually, the people will host, we'll have people come over, have game night. A lot this summer. Usually in the summers, we have family and friends come from LA or just wherever just to come river rap. They love seeing the videos.
That's so dope.
Yeah,
That's so
they're
cool.
like, oh, we gotta go. So we're literally there every other weekend. So this is like our last party just left this morning. So
Oh
we're like,
wow.
all right, the summer's over for us. We can actually relax. But it's cool. We love hosting in the summer, even with our friends that are local, just having game night or just watching movies or just shooting the shit.
That's so dope. I'm
Yeah.
hyped. That's so dope. How are you meeting new people then, or is it literally just sourcing from Sac State friends?
Oh no, definitely it's been Sac State friends in the beginning because I was especially just working hard and he was going to
Yeah.
school. But now that he's graduated and we have a little bit more free time with my job too, more just going out to the clubs, just downtown, midtown in Sacramento. We meet a lot of people there just hanging out or just vibing. And I feel like I should be doing it more, especially if I want to get more into the design and music. There's so many music people out here, and I see people perform. I'm just like, or the
Yes.
DJs. I'll vibe with the DJs, give them the
Yes.
information. I love doing that, but I feel like I should need to be doing more of that. I said I wanted to do that at the beginning of this year, and it's already almost September. But definitely just something like that, going out. Yeah, nothing really besides that. Having people over.
Okay, for sure. No, I mean that's what's up. Do you also DJ too? Do you or you just vibe with the DJs?
I always wanted to be a DJ, but I'd never even attempted. It
Why is
feels like
that?
it's cool. I don't know. I just felt intimidated with the turntables. I'm like, ever since I was little, I'm like, and I feel like I'll probably be really good. And I do it digitally, like I have programs, but it's nothing like being in person.
Or you're saying like you mess around with like virtual DJ or something like that?
Exactly, like virtual DJ, I tried that, and it's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
fun. Like mixing or FL Studio, I'll mix like little stuff, like
Okay.
pretty much like the dance mixes like that, but nothing like a straight DJ all night at the club or bar. That's still a little different.
Bro, I would be willing to bet that you'd be an insane DJ. Just from the way you talk about music and design and just being a creative person, I'd be willing to bet that you'd be a killer DJ.
Oh man, maybe when I get older. I always tell my partner, I'm like, when I get older, I'm either gonna still be doing music or photography. One of the two. That'll be my
bro, you could be like Shaq, bro. Get your bag of thompson and then be like a festival DJ. Like, easy. I don't know.
That'd be funny.
But yo, I appreciate your time, man.
I know we're
about to wrap up right here, but if I end up posting this, where can I send people to? We got antwonward.com.
Yes. So as far as so UI UX design, everything design related, definitely antwonward.com. Right now, my @ is for my music, and pretty much my personal side is Antwon Terrell. That's TERELL, and Antwon is ANTWON. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at now, unless I change my name.
Okay. Anything you want to promote, like any singles coming down the pipeline or anything like that?
Definitely working on a lot as far as music wise. I'm like slowly working on it because I'm doing it kind of as a hobby. But right now I do have a single out on Spotify. It's called Come Through. It's like a little R&B song. It's kind of like the start of an album, and I just put that song out just to see how it goes. Really didn't promote it. I was kind of just seeing how it went. But I have that out right now. I have a couple songs that I did back in 2020 on there as well. But as far as music, I would like to say it's going to be a lot coming out the rest of this year, and definitely design on antwonward.com and finishing up that portfolio. Hoping to have it soon, within a month at the latest.
Hell yeah, bro. Come Through was sick, by the way. I listened to that when you posted.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that shit was fire, man. I mean, it's expected, bro. You got a fucking placement with Sammy. So, like, anything that's coming from you should be fire, right?
I appreciate it, man.
But yo, I appreciate your time, man. Do you want to say anything else before I close out the recording?
What's Punchy?
Punchy is a marketing, it's like a copywriting thing I started a while ago to get clients. But so far no one's been able to afford it. So
God. Okay, I'm just curious. That's why I'm like,
basically like Punchy copy, but I'm rebranding it and changing all of that out.
Gotcha, no worries. I was just curious. But yeah, besides that, definitely appreciate you. It's definitely talking to you. It's good. Always good talking to you, so I appreciate it.
100%, bro. And if you never need any copyright for anything or whatever, just
for sure. Yes, if I see anything, I'll definitely shoot it your way. I know you're awesome.
And pretty much let me know when that portfolio is ready, when that resume is ready, and I'm gonna shoot it over to the people at that staffing agency I was talking about.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, bro.
All right, Antwon, I'm gonna let you get back to business. Sorry to take up so much time.
No, you're good. That flew by for me. So yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon, bro.
Have a good one. Later.
Bro. Be good.
The mode.